Hello everybody, welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I'm going to give you my spoiler-filled review of Spider-Man No Way Home. Now, yesterday, and seeing as some of the views I've gotten, clearly people have a different opinion on that ending than I do. Now, but before I get to the ending, because I'm probably going to not talk as much about the ending, because I'm probably going to make a side video just really getting into how I feel about that ending, because this video, like, I need to make this spoiler. Like it's not a Mortal Kombat situation, or like some situations where sometimes I make rant videos because I hate the movie itself, everything up top to bottom, so I can just kind of rant. But this isn't one of those situations, because I almost love this movie. I enjoyed the hell out of this movie. I thought this movie was great. It's probably the best superhero movie of the year, in terms of the way the story went and what was in it. Like, it's probably the best superhero movie of the year. First of all, now this is full spoilers, people. Full spoilers. If you don't want to hear something, you might want to close your ears. I'm going full spoilers here. First of all, although it was heavily rumored, seeing Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield return to play their respective Spider-Mans was cool. Seeing those characters interact with Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and seeing their interactions, the dialogue, like how fun it was, how witty it was, how those characters felt like those characters. It didn't feel like they wrote them any differently than how they were written in their universes. It just works so well. Seeing a Tobey Maguire come back. I haven't seen Tobey Maguire in anything in a while. Like, I don't even know what Tobey's even doing these days. I haven't seen him in any independent stuff. I haven't seen him in any TV shows. So I don't know what Tobey's even doing these days. But seeing him back as an older Peter Parker, clearly years have gone by in his reality. And seeing Andrew back as well, and it's like, you know, just seeing those guys back. You know, I wasn't the biggest fan of the Amazing Spider-Man franchise. I didn't mind the first one. I didn't mind the first Amazing Spider-Man. If I had if I was reviewing movies back then, I would have given the first Amazing Spider-Man like a solid 7. Like, probably. Like, I didn't mind that one. I didn't hate it. I thought it was pretty decent. And I thought Andrew, while parts of his performance as Peter Parker weren't for me, I still enjoyed his Spider-Man. I still enjoyed a lot of the things. And they brought the actual web shooters in. So I enjoyed those parts of the character. But, of course, Amazing Spider-Man 2 happened, so that kind of ruined it. But yeah, man, like, some of the action set pieces with them are just so fun. The final fight with all the other members from their universes, and seeing all these characters interact were just so fun, because that was something that I didn't expect. I kind of going in, kind of knowing about the rumors about Andrew and Tobey, knowing that all the villains are going to be from the Amazing movies and the Sam Raimi movies. But the thing that I didn't prepare myself for is seeing those villains interact with each other. Is seeing Doc Ock interact with with Green Goblin Norman Osborn. Is seeing Electro interact with Doc Connors, because these are characters in their universes who you never saw interact. You never got to see. Like, I said this in my non-spoiler review, but it was just fun seeing, because you never got to see what was Norman's opinion on Otto Octavius and what was Otto's Octavius on Norman, and you never got to see vice versa. Like, and it was just cool seeing these characters interact, just plain and simple. Also, this is some of the best action in the MCU. Some of these sequences are just breathtaking, particularly the fight with Spider-Man fighting Doctor Strange. That fight was really fun, was really well done, and was just really awesome. Like, it was a mixture of both those movies. It had the fun and upbeat tempo of the Spider-Man movie, of the MCU's Homecoming franchise movies, and had the special effects and the over-the-top, just insane visuals of the Doctor Strange movies. I also love that they used the Doctor Strange score sound, like his theme from the original movie when Peter Parker was going to go meet him. I also love, by the way, and I know someone might notice this, I hope they do, I was right! Doctor Strange isn't the Sorcerer Supreme, it's Wong. I knew it! I knew it. I backed off of it, but I knew it. He isn't. And I am happy to be correct. Yeah, he isn't the Sorcerer Supreme. Because technically Wong's his superior. Wong's a superior sorcerer. Not only that, but Wong was running things when he was gone for 5 years. So Wong is the Sorcerer Supreme. That's why you keep seeing Wong pop up in all these different places. Because he's the actual Sorcerer Supreme. And apparently his job is busy as hell. Either way. Like, I loved having that confirmation to me. But the biggest shock of the movie, other than maybe the ending, was the death of Aunt May. That was highly unexpected. I didn't see that coming. I honestly, in a million years. I've seen this movie twice now. The first time I saw it yesterday I was shocked. Like, I was in the theater, just like, I was in shock. Like, the whole theater was quiet. I was shocked. I was like, I can't believe they're doing this. They're doing the Uncle Ben thing. Now, I've referenced this before, but some people aren't like comic book fans. But the original OG Spider-Man, Stan Lee Spider-Man, Uncle Ben's death was a deal. But it wasn't the end-all, be-all of Peter Parker's life. And in fact, Uncle Ben's death was a lot like Jensen's death from Iron Man for Peter Parker. And, to be real, that's what it was for Peter Parker. And the OG comics, Uncle Ben's death was just the catalyst. It was the catalyst. It was the turning point to put him down the path. But he didn't. But he wasn't thinking about Uncle Ben every fucking time he made a decision. You know what I mean? It wasn't always thinking about Uncle Ben every 5 seconds. That was something that Sam Raimi brought into the mix. Sam Raimi brought that into the mix. He played Uncle Ben up more than he had been in the previous comics. In fact, in OG comics, and this is hard to believe, some people don't believe me, Uncle Ben never said, "With great power comes great responsibility." At least he didn't say it out loud. He didn't tell Peter that. Like, it was something he just remembered. It wasn't something he said to him. Like, he wasn't dying saying, "With great power comes..." No. It was something like, if I recall, he didn't even say it. If you go back and look at those old comic books. So the MCU wanted to go in a different direction and not make Uncle Ben that big of a deal. So they decided to go with killing Aunt May and having her say it, which was like I said, it was a swerve. I totally didn't see it coming. And, and seeing her and Happy be, in a relationship, I was really rooting for that. So when she died, it was heartbreaking. It messed with Seth. Like, Seth was sitting next to me, and it really fucked with him. And it takes a lot to fuck with him in a movie. And, so, like, it was, like, I put it right. It's one of the most emotional scenes in the MCU has ever had. It's right up there with Tony's death. It's right up there with Nat's death. It's right up there with Gamora's death. It's right up there with Peter, holding on. I don't want to go, Mr. Stark. Like, it's right up there with some of the most emotional moments in the MCU. It was heartbreaking. It really was. It was really heartbreaking. Did not see that coming. Did not see it going down that way. It was unexpected. It was very unexpected. Bold. It was very unexpected. Very bold. And they didn't have to do it. They could have went a different direction. They could have just killed Happy. There was so many different directions they could have gone, but they went that direction, and and it was crazy. It was like, basically, it's like, okay, this is about the hints where you started feeling like, okay, what are they gonna do? Like, is this gonna be like a soft rebuild? And then I really have to get into. I'm not done talking about positives. I got more positives. Like I said, the action set pieces were great. All the actors are so fun. I wish we got more with the teachers, but that was fun too. Jonah Jameson was fun. It was cool to see this thing too, because this is such a modern thing. If you might not have noticed it, but Jonah started off like recording it in a shitty apartment, or is it a garage? I can't remember. But it was in a shitty area when he was recording this DailyBugle.net. And I think it's very cool and very topical because there's so many people on YouTube or on different social media platforms who start off as amateurs at something and they grow such a massive following that they become legitimate professionals. And to see Jonah go from recording this in a shitty little area to, by the time the movie comes to an end, he's got a whole studio. And it's like that sometimes, especially like when you click, man. Like, when you click, next thing you know, you go from recording, like, and like this, and like me, like, if I ever clicked and I got, like, a shit ton of subscribers, suddenly you wouldn't see me in here anymore. You'd see me somewhere much differently. And that's just how it works sometimes. Sometimes you just need to, and that's how it works. And it's cool to see that implemented here with the Daily Bugle. .net, and this is a different Jonah. Some people were speculating that this Jonah was from another universe, and that's why it's him. No, this is a totally different Jonah Jameson who's from the MCU. This is MCU Jonah Jameson who is still played by J.K. Simmons. Yeah, man, like he was great. He was great in this. All the characters were great. Ned was great. There might be a little bit of a setup for Ned becoming a sorcerer, because Ned can open up portals a hell of a lot easier than Strange could when he was trying to figure it out for the first time. And yeah, like I said, like there are some fun, really great bits in this movie, some fantastic bits in this movie, and overall, my overall feelings about the movie, by the time I got to the end, I was like, this is a 9. This is a solid 9. This is one of Marvel's best films. I enjoyed the hell out of it, almost top to bottom. But now I have to get into my problem. Now, yesterday I made my video. I said I was mixed. After seeing it again, I'm no longer mixed. I don't like the ending. And I'm going to be clearly I'm going to be in a minority here. I'm going to be in a massive minority here, and I'm open and I'm okay with that. You know, I'm okay with people not, disagreeing with me on this. I'm not going to talk about it too long because I don't want this video to go on too long, and honestly, I could just make a separate video really going in and talking about why I'm upset about this, but I'm just going to make this brief. The reason that I really don't like that ending that they did in this film is because I feel like the MCU Spider-Man has been able to separate himself from the other Spider-Mans. For better or worse, from whatever you think about it, like I said, I'll say it again. Anybody who calls him Iron Boy Jr. is a complete moron, idiot, and needs to check his IQ because he might not have any brain cells. Anyways, they separated themselves by making him have such a close, by making him so interwoven into the MCU and making him have a close relationship with Tony Stark. It instantly made him a different character, because I've always said, in the comics, it never actually made any sense that Spider-Man was broke. Because he's on a first-name basis with Tony Stark, Reed Richards, Danny Rand, multiple, Nick Fury, multiple people who maybe they wouldn't give him money and gadgets and gizmos, but they could give him a job doing what he loves to do. Multiple people who know who he is, who understand who he is, who can give him a job. And it never actually makes any sense why he works at a newspaper. It's essentially, he's a chump and he chooses to suffer. Because I'm sorry, look at yourself. If you had a friend who owned a company, how don't you get a job? It never even made sense. It never made sense. And it didn't make sense in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, when Harry took over Oscorp and he didn't immediately offer Peter a job. Like what? Like wouldn't that be like the first thing Harry did was offer Peter a job? Because he knows Peter's a genius and whatnot. He'd look out for his boy. Like that's the thing. Like, regardless of how you want to twist it and turn it and make it go, Peter Parker in the comics chooses to be struggling broke. It's just I don't see any way around that. And the MCU, in my opinion, kind of found a way around that that doesn't actually make any sense, by being like, well, yeah, if he knew Iron Man would make him a suit. If he knew the Avengers and whatnot, he wouldn't, you know what I mean? Not to mention also, if Peter Parker's a genius, he has no reason to be taking pictures. He would get a full scholarship. He wouldn't need to get a part-time job taking pictures. He'd get a full ride to any school he wants to. To any school he wants to. Like, he should be a scientist, not taking pictures at the Daily Bugle. Like, sure, that's fun, but he should be working at a pizza joint and all this. Hell, this shit should be a breeze to him. And it would be, and once again, since he's a genius, he goes to a magnet school because he's a genius, so he wouldn't just go to a normal high school. There are multiple things and multiple ways the MCU went about correcting and making up some of those logical leaps. But the biggest problem I have is that at the end of this movie, they make it so that the entire MCU has no idea who Peter Parker is. And clearly to me, this is the biggest ass covering I've ever seen, and I've titled Self before. There are hints to tell you that this wasn't a plan, because if this was completely planned, we already know that they're making a Spider-Man 4. If this was completely planned, they would have said Spider-Man will return, but they didn't. They teed up Doctor Strange, not because Doctor Strange is coming next, but because they didn't know what was coming next when they finished filming this. It is pretty abundantly clear to me that this was supposed to be a soft reboot slash ass covering, because if they really wanted to reboot it, they would have just took him out of the MCU, but they didn't. And it's nothing for them, and it wouldn't be too difficult for them to go back on the spell, go back on what happened, and be like, okay, well now he's, officially he's cool, he's in the MCU. But my problem is, if they don't take it back, if they stay this course of just making him the same old, bitter, lonely, we already saw that. And like, that's my deal, is I already saw that. If I wanted to see that, I'd just go watch Toby's movie. If I wanted to see that, I'd just go watch Andrew's movie. They made a funner, happier, more optimistic version of Spider-Man, and because Sony, and either A, they gave in to fan pressure, or B, Sony wanted to cover their asses because they don't know if they're gonna how long this deal's gonna last with Marvel, so they wanted to make sure they could just backdoor out of this if they need to. Essentially, it made all the previous Spider-Man appearances worthless. It made them worthless, it made them pointless, and it kind of devalues everything that happened before, because there won't be any stories around that. Doctor Strange, I won't get to see him having conversations with Doctor Strange about that crazy adventure. I won't get to see him having conversations with Happy about the death of Aunt May and the death of Tony Stark, and them using each other and leaning on each other. I won't get to see him and Ned and MJ trying to make it in college and trying to figure that out. I won't get to see all that because they decided to basically make him the old Sam Raimi Spider-Man. And I, for one, am like, okay, I'll talk more about this at a later date, but it really rubbed me the wrong way. It really rubbed me the wrong way. It made me feel like, since I'm a fan, I am a fan of the MCU Spider-Man, and it made me feel like that Sony / maybe even Marvel are telling me that I shouldn't be, that I'm wrong to be, and I didn't like that at all. I did not like that ending at all. I walked away from that being like, so are you just telling me that there's only one way to do a Spider-Man? That's what you're telling me. There's only one way to do it. So any other way you do it is wrong and bad and stupid. Change is bad. Never do anything bad. Never change anything. Keep it the same so that these people can keep their shirts on. That's the message I got from that ending. And that's what I'm talking about right now. That's all I'm going to talk about right now. But anyways, I still rather enjoyed the movie. I still gave it a 9 out of 10. I still love most of this movie. But that ending left me feeling upset. It left me feeling like, well, if we were going to do this, why didn't we just start this way? Why let me even go on this pointless journey if you were going to just come here anyways? Anyways, thank you guys for joining the Comic Get Movie Show. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one.